So today we are talking about the brand new WaveInjector tool and the tool set, how it looks like. So you will get a tool set which comes with this special tool for preparing the surface. This is a battery-driven tool with a spare accu pack and charging station, and this is a tool for adjustment of this grinding wheel fixation. So the tool comes with one set of chains, 4 of these construction pipes, special fixation for the chain and special fixation also on the opposite side. This is how the tool comes, and this is how the new modified WaveInjector comes. Together with this new tool you can use a modified version of this WaveInjector, where you find a special adjustment that this piece here later on fits exactly also on the same construction for easier mounting. We will come to this point also later, step by step. Also, we have modified the opposite side of this chain bridge. Here you see also this comes with screws, and this fits also exactly to this pipe construction. The other part of the WaveInjector, even the transducer boxes, are still the same. Let's do a step-by-step installation on the pipe. First of all, as for all our applications, you need to calculate the distance on the pipe where to install the clamp. We need a pipe section where we have some place to work, at least a piece of 1 meter, more or less. It's one section of insulation to put off in real life. So let's say you have calculated with all the parameters and the Fluxus gave you a clamp distance. We just mark this clamp distance on the top of the pipe. Let's say for this example we have a clamp distance of 150 millimeter or approximately 6 inch. We just mark these sections on the top of the pipe that we know exactly later on where to put on the clamps. We have to do a preparation of the pipe, means we don't want to clean the full pipe section, we just want to clean where we need to clean the pipe. So at least we have the clamp distance. The plate is exactly in the middle of the clamp. So that means the clamp is here. The section of this WaveInjector plate is in the middle. So we can easily define a section. Let's go for direct mode in this case. We just go roughly in the middle where we mark the clamp distance, and we just define the section where we clean the pipe. We don't want to polish the full pipe section. So we know on this side the WaveInjector plate is exactly in here, and on the opposite side we measure the half circumference and we go where the second clamp is, and also we do a mark where to put the second clamp. Okay. So after we know where to install the WaveInjector, there are a few possibilities to pre-clean the pipe. So we have to pre-clean the pipe. Please don't use this new tool directly on a hard, scaly or rusty surface. So we have to clean the pipe surface as already mentioned with the installation of the further versions of the WaveInjector. So the easiest possibility to clean a pipe is always to use a belt sander. Even on hot pipes, this makes it very easy and very fast to clean the pipe in this section, to polish the pipe and to get rid of all this scaling from the outside. The target is later on that this new tool works on the bare metal and not on the rusty, scaly surface. So we polish this section on both sides. If you are not able to get a belt sander, you can also use a hard metal scraper or some sandpaper and do it by hand, but recommendation is really easy and fast with the electrical belt sander. We start with this modified construction. This later on works like a workbench. This is a special chain holder where the chain will not drop out automatically. This will be fixed in the middle. I show you how to do this. The target is now to get also an alignment on both sides. That's why we recommend to start. The pipe will come a little bit longer than the pipe circumference, of course, and you try to get the middle of the pipe, of the chain, in the middle of this new construction. So you have to lift off in the middle a little bit. So, lift off in the middle, get in and press it down. So it should look like this here. And you see, even if you turn the chain, this will not drop out automatically. So, both chains are now in position. So we know that the pipe outer diameter in this case is a 6-inch pipe, means 169.8 millimeter. The distance here later on you find in the table, which we will also have in the manual, that you know exactly for each pipe dimension how many parts of the chain you have to adjust in between these two constructions. So in this case, for a 6-inch pipe, we know exactly that we have to go for a certain amount of chain pieces in between this fixation.
Los geht's, yeah.
So we go to the pipe and always, when it's possible, put it on the top of the pipe and then just get around with the chain and put it on the opposite side and fix it. Okay, so we just make a rough tightening the screws, then we move into the position where we cleaned and where we marked the position of the WaveInjector blade. Just that you find on this side here a special preparation where you can hook in the tape measure. So we have to measure over the top and then again over the middle, over the bottom of the pipe. So the reference point is over here, and there you will find later on also something to have a real position. So we measure in this direction, we measure of course in the other direction to the same reference point. This is exactly now in the same distance, so means we can be sure that this side is correct aligned, and we do of course the same on this side of the fixation. Also on both sides to the middle of this reference point. And again, over the top. So here we see a slight disalignment. That means now by using these screws we can open here a little bit and tighten here a little bit, and the whole construction will move into position. So we do this alignment as long as we have the full same alignment on both sides. We also control that this construction here sits exactly on the pipe section where we want to work later on. So after we check everything, we now have to tighten this a little bit more, that nothing moves when we are going to use the tool. So you don't need to over tighten these screws, because this is just a support construction. This will be removed later. So after now we fix the workbench, we have to align this tool. So the first step will be make sure that the battery pack is out. Please turn this in direction clockwise that you see the 0 point here. This should be in the middle of this place. So on this scaling you see each mark means 0.01 millimeter, where you get down the tool later on for this grinding job. So, but first for the alignment we have to start with the mark where you see the 0. Then you need this special tool which comes with this machine. There is a screw inside, so you have to adjust it. Press this button here to fix it, that it does not turn anymore. Then you open this screw slightly, and now please pull out this grinding wheel until the end of this edge of the tool. And now you have to put it on very carefully on this pipe surface. Now it will be automatically pressed in. And now please fix it again in this position. Then you make sure that you are not too high and not too deep to get the surface prepared. Of course, now you need the battery pack. Make sure that you also have your personal equipment like gloves, goggles and so on. This is a section where we want to put the WaveInjector plate later on. So the best way is now to start not on this point with doing the pipe preparation. We start on the other side. Before we start the machine, we just make sure that it is slightly scraping the surface. Hold it fixed to the pipe. Please make sure that you don't do this alignment. Make sure that you are complete in contact with this rail system. So we start now the machine. And we move from right to left and back a few times. We stop the machine again in this position, and on a hot pipe, of course, we have to remove this and cool it down a little bit. You can cool also this grinding wheel with a little bit with a sponge and some water down, because otherwise it will get too hot and you will lose this scraping effect. Now we see a slight remove of some metal on the surface. Of course, this is not done in just one step. Now we turn a little bit the tool that we get 0.01 millimeter more down. So means at least one of these marks we turn against the clock. Just turn it and we start again on the same position. Okay. So after using this tool a few times, you see this slot on the pipe surface is getting better and better. Finish the first side of this installation. We have to do the same job, of course, on the opposite side, also in this section where we marked before the pipe. It's not necessary to make this grinding job on the full area here on this workbench. We just want to make it where we put on the WaveInjector plate. The difference here is now we have a special fixation also with a pair of screws on both sides, that we can now leave this support as long as we install the final WaveInjector. Put it on this position approximately in the middle. We tighten these screws, and now this construction fits exactly on this support. This modified chain bridge, which also comes with a set of screws. And we fix it also on this support construction. Chain bridge comes with a separate chain system. So now, of course, it's very easy to fix this on the pipe. As mentioned before, we already calculated the clamp distance. The clamp distance also we marked on the pipe that we see it. Also, and we can just control that we are in right position 150 from center to center. This is the same principle as we used also for the WaveInjector until now. So we fix our screws again. We use the chain bridge. This alignment here you should also control, of course. Chain also, just put it in, go around the bridge and move to the opposite side. Now, after you put around the chain, now please tighten these screws. The alignment of this construction is still there, so we moved nothing. But the key is later on to put on the WaveInjector plate exactly on the position where we prepared the pipe. So, tighten the screws, as you already know, regarding the construction of the chain WaveInjector. There's no change in the spring mechanism, so we tighten the screws a little bit, but please still leave it with a little gap that you still have a chain and not a spring mechanism and not a washer mechanism. Transducer box with coupling material, and we put all these things together as we already did for the full WaveInjector construction before. So nothing changed here. The only difference now is you don't need this hand tool which you used before. We had this automatic tool, so no need to use any other tool. After installing this, you can just go for coupling, maybe lead or maybe silver, depends on the temperature you get. So we put it in center to center, as you already did for all the WaveInjectors before. And now we fix the screw in the middle. Same principle as we had before. Don't over tighten, because otherwise the coupling material will be damaged. And we do the same thing on the opposite side. You can still leave this support on. So all the signals has to be controlled, as you know already from a normal flow measurement. Please check all the diagnostic signals and so on. After the installation is ready, we can start to remove this pair of chains and fixations. You can open these screws again. So, okay, now we'll move again the chain construction out of this support. So please follow all these instructions which you find in the manual, that you don't cover the transducers, but this pipe construction now stays under the WaveInjector. It's not possible to remove this construction because it's in direct contact with the pipe surface.